Today, we remember a man and his dream of liberty and justice for all. This Monday, we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and typically our city celebrates with a parade, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, that event is going virtual. 13 Action News reporter Alicia Patillo shares the history behind the parade and how you can still participate from home.
We started with a very small idea that we were able to grow into what you could say a vision.
I started the organization in 1981. We did the first parade in '82. Very easy to remember the first parade because there were just 13 entries. Really a sad looking situation, if you will, of a parade. It almost looked like a funeral procession. But I didn't know anything about parades, but I had the passion to do it. People came out, they embraced it. It lasted probably about a half an hour.
For a young Wendell Williams growing up in St. Joseph, Louisiana, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was his hero.
Coming from the South, he was a person who people held up all the time. I grew up with people holding him up and teaching his values.
Years later, Williams eventually called the Valley home, but his hero seemed forgotten in his new city.
When I moved to Las Vegas back then, there was sort of an absence of the recognition of Martin Luther King Jr.
It was then Williams created the blueprint in how Nevadans would pay homage to the man who led a movement. In 1981, with the help of others in the community, Williams launched the Martin Luther King Jr. Committee right here in the Valley.
We did the parade actually as an anchor to teach and have people hopefully understand his blueprint of the beloved community, which is still important today.
The parade was built on the backbone of a long-standing community. And inside this community is founding member of the committee, activist Nedra Cooper.
Back in the early days of the parade, it used to be an all-day function.
And to see it grow,
it's like watching a baby. You start it, you birth the baby, and then you begin to give it direction and guidance, and you work with it. And we just worked with the parade. We worked with the Martin Luther King the committee worked, and then you see what we have now. It's truly a dream come true.
And now, 39 years later,
it's evolved into, they say, the largest parade in the state, and I don't view the value of it with length or anything like that. I value the essence of the parade with who's in it and how it represents the entire community.
For the first time in its 39-year history, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Parade will not be going down 4th Street due to the coronavirus pandemic. But the dream still lives on. So instead, the committee is hosting a virtual event online that you do not want to miss.
This year was very special to me because it's being produced by technology students, high school students and college students are producing it. We're going back 38 years. So the 38 years we have video and pictures. We also show the dedication of the Martin Luther King statue, how they came to be, the changing of Highland Drive to what's now Martin Luther King. We took 40 students to the 25th anniversary of the March on Washington years ago. Those students are coming back to talk to us about, and you'll see them in the parade as well. We worked on the Martin Luther King Elementary School, which is now in existence, the Martin Luther King time capsule. So you'll get a chance to see generations, and people tell us your generations and generations have been at the parade.
While today a new generation of leaders are born and a new movement goes on, Dr. King's dream will always lead back to justice for all.
His blueprint for peace and understanding and brotherhood is what it's all about, and I think that will stand the test of time.
Alicia Patillo, 13 Action News.
The virtual Martin Luther King Day Parade begins today at 10 a.m. You can watch it by visiting www.kingweeklasvegas.com.